안녕하세요. 늦바람영어 크리스틴입니다. 이번 월드컵 탈락, 우리 언론은 감독의 전술을 이야기했습니다. 하지만 CNA는 전혀 다른 이야기를 합니다. 패배를 만드는 것은 감독 한 사람이 아니라 그런 선택을 반복하게 만든 시스템이다. 외신은 왜 이렇게 분석했을까요? 영어 표현과 함께 하나씩 살펴보겠습니다.
Grace, we all want our team to win, but why so angry?
So, a lot of people in South Korea are very angry because this was considered an opportunity wasted with a so-called dream squad with star players playing in elite European leagues like Son Heung-min, Lee Gang-in, Kim Min-jae, all being part of this national team in the World Cup, but to be eliminated during the group stage, even with a much wider safety net, definitely enraged a lot of South Koreans, but it also became an opportunity for many critics to shed light how that the World Cup exit has become the final piece of evidence that reinforced long-standing concerns about how the Korea Football Association, or KFA, has been governed. That's why, as you reported, the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism says it will investigate possible failures in leadership, management, and even misconduct. And President Lee Jae-myung weighed in, saying this is what happens when incompetence is shown in leadership positions. And note how he's criticizing the KFA here. He's not talking about football tactics, but he's talking about how leaders are appointed and whether institutions are being run properly. So the question in South Korea right now isn't why exactly did the team lose? It's more of who built the system and produced this result.
All right, to answer that question, they're going to have to look very deeply on who built that system. But we've already seen one person take the rap for this exit from World Cup. Who might that be?
Exactly. Fingers are being pointed to the ex-coach now. That's Hong Myung-bo. Because Hong isn't just another coach. For your background knowledge, he's one of the biggest names in Korean football history. He actually rose to stardom as he captained South Korea during its historic run to the 2002 World Cup. And the 2002 World Cup semifinals remains a very special place in many South Koreans' heart because it really put football on the global grid and demonstrated that South Korea has potential. But the reason why many people are pointing fingers against Hong Myung-bo is for two reasons. Number one is whether his qualifications met with his appointment in 2024. It was very controversial from the beginning because in 2014, Hong Myung-bo also was the coach of the national team, but he failed to bring them to win any single match. And complaints were filed to the police in 2024, and nearly 2 years later, the investigation is still ongoing. Whether he was qualified for this appointment is one reason, but another reason is because many football fans and critics are looking at his outdated strategies and whether Hong Myung-bo really brought up his A game as much as the players did. In this World Cup, it was considered South Korea's strongest squad in years, as I mentioned. And many analysts thought that South Korea had one of its most favorable World Cup group in years. But when Hong Myung-bo decided to bench captain Son Heung-min on the bench at kickoff, especially against the match with South Africa, which is much lower in rankings when it comes to FIFA, many were surprised, and many thought that Hong Myung-bo should have changed his strategies. And especially yesterday, when he decided to resign, he never took accountability as to what mistakes were making, which really enraged the public.
So it's become much more than football. We heard the president himself refer to the amount of money that has been spent on football in South Korea, and therefore the need for accountability by the government for taxpayer money.
Exactly. So the president also noted that institutional responsibility is definitely needed. For years now, the KFA has been in the spotlight for having an unfair electoral college, and they needed reform. So because football takes up such a unique place in South Koreans' heart ever since the 2002 World Cup semifinals when they entered, it really is a cultural significance winning the World Cup. It's a very rare time in South Korea when people gather on the streets together, regardless of political color or any gender issues that may come, and they're all together. It really symbolizes unity. So fans, of course, are disappointed. But then the fact that the World Cup when it was a golden opportunity was lost. That brought another level of rage. South Korean players have demonstrated that they are ready to play on the international field. Now it's the matter of good infrastructure backing them up. And also mentioned the KFA isn't simply a private football organization. Its 2026 budget includes roughly 16 million US dollars, which in public funding through the National Sports Promotion Fund and Sports Toto, which is why this has strengthened the government's argument that an organization receiving public money should definitely be held accountable. And much of the criticism is not only towards Hong Myung-bo, it's also against the KFA president Chung Mong-gyu, who has led the association for more than a decade, which is unheard of. So we're now hearing more criticism and calls for reform when it comes to who is actually making these decisions. It's become a debate about meritocracy. And we have to note that the World Cup didn't create this crisis. It actually validated it because it's now pointing fingers as to whether South Korea's football leaders have been making the right decision so far.
As President Lee Jae-myung mentioned, when favoritism and cronyism take precedence over competence.
영상 어떻게 보셨나요? CNA는 이번 월드컵이 새로운 문제를 만든 것이 아니라고 말합니다. 오히려 이미 존재했던 문제를 세상에 드러냈을 뿐이라고 말하죠. 개인적으로 가장 마음에 와닿았던 문장은 다음과 같습니다. The World Cup didn't create this crisis. It validated. 그리고 가장 인상 깊었던 문장은 이것이었습니다. When favoritism and cronyism take precedence over competence. 연줄과 정실 인사가 능력보다 앞서는 순간 실패는 불보듯 뻔해진다. 이번 영상은 단순히 축구를 이야기한 것이 아니라 조직이 어떻게 운영되어야 하는가에 대한 이야기였던 것 같습니다. 개인적으로도 이번 월드컵 조기 탈락이 굉장히 안타깝고 아쉽습니다. 하지만 모든 실패를 한 사람의 책임으로만 돌리는 여론이나 SNS의 분위기 역시 성숙한 모습은 아니라고 생각합니다. 더 중요한 것은 그런 결과를 만들어낸 시스템과 의사결정 구조를 돌아보는 일이라고 생각합니다. 여러분은 이번 CNA의 분석에 공감하시나요? 댓글로 여러분의 생각도 들려주세요. 지금까지 늦바람영어 크리스틴이었습니다. 안녕!